Hello, welcome back. In this section, we are going to talk about the different use cases for connecting user plane functions in series. This is a topic that we had discussed briefly when we were talking about user plane functions and the different capabilities of user plane functions. But here we will go in a lot more detail and understand what are the different scenarios where we would want to connect user plane functions in series. So in 5G, there are actually three main use cases for connecting UPF in series using the N9 interface. This is the interface between UPFs. So if you have more than one UPF, you can have what is called the N9 interface between these two UPFs. There are three use cases have been broken out here. We will go through each of them in this section, starting off with the network-wide mobility. So before we look at this text here, let us look at the diagram here. So you have your source NR, new radio, and you have your destination NR here, right? And then your user equipment is moving from your source to the destination, right? This is the case of network-wide mobility. That's why we are talking about the mobility. And in this case, the source NR is connected to UPF1 and the destination NR is connected to UPF2. And these two are different. Remember, I had mentioned that in 5G, you would want to select the most optimal UPF, which is closest to the subscriber, right, for best possible latency, minimum latency, and best possible user experience, right? So with that background, let us now read this text here. So the UPF is responsible for acting as a stable IP anchor for a session user as it moves in a network, right? In a given network, we may have more than one UPF, and in order to maintain IP connectivity with the same IP address, so think about the SSC mode 1, right? So SSC mode 1 is where we would have the same IP address. For a user, one UPF may need to communicate with the other UPFs. So we saw this briefly where in SSC mode 1, all the data traffic for the subscriber retains the same IP address, and in that case the PSA, the PDU session anchor, does not change as the mobility happens, right? So how would that work in this scenario? The way it would work is you would have all your user plane traffic will hit your UPF2 because this is the closest this is the closest, and the connection, there is no connection between the destination NR and the original UPF. So the only way, the only connection it has is to this UPF number 2, and then that traffic will actually be tunneled back to UPF1 and will go out to your external network. So this is how your SSC mode 1 will look like, where the IP address is retained because that traffic is still going through UPF2 into UPF1 out to the external network. So imagine a scenario where we have two NR cells, like we talked about, the source and the destination, and each of them is connected to a different UPF. If a device is connected to the leftmost NR cell, it will connect to UPF1, and UPF1 will act as the IP anchor. If the device moves to the right, so it will move to this new destination NR, your UPF2 will be selected by the SMF, right? And because of the topology, and then the only connection that the NR has to the UPF is UPF2. So we could, it's not like that we could have used UPF1, sorry, because there is no connection, right? There is no direct path. This path does not exist. That's why we have to use UPF2. So in order to preserve the IP address continuity and session continuity, UPF2 will need to communicate with UPF1, and this is what we mean by connecting UPF in series, where you can think that UPF2 and UPF1 are connected by this N9 interface, and this is used to tunnel all the traffic back to UPF1 and out to the network. So this is the one use case. We will look at the other use cases in the next slide. So the second use case we will look at is the breaking out of selected data flows. This is a new concept that is introduced in 5G core compared to EPC. This was not present in EPC, right? So this is a new concept that is part of the 5G core. The SMF has the ability to implement what are called uplink classifiers. ULCL is the acronym. For a given user, and route data flows differently based on certain characteristics for a given subscriber. These characteristics can be of the type IP addresses. So you can have source IP, you can have destination IP, you can have port number, filters, and a protocol. So you can think of this as a filtering criteria, right? So this is a filter essentially. You can think of it as a filter. And this use case is key to implementing mobile edge computing. Mobile edge computing, since one can selectively break out local traffic for edge processing. So mobile edge computing, you may have heard about this. This is the new technology that's on horizon. It's commonly denoted by this acronym MEC. And what MEC, the gist of the MEC is that it enables you to process and work on your data locally without having to send it to a central location, thereby giving you the best efficiency and the lowest possible latency. So breaking out of selective data flows is key to implementing MEC in 5G. So let's look at this architecture here. So you have your user equipment here. This is connected to your new radio, also your 3GPP radio network. This radio network is connected to your user plane function, and there is a series second user plane function here as well, and this is connected to your external network, right? And then you also have a local network. So now what will happen is each of these UPFs will have connection to your session management function, right? And the session management function can provision certain rules based on your filtering criteria that we had looked here, based on like something like a source, destination IP address, port number, or protocol. And with that capability, the user plane function UPF1 can break out certain IP flows for this subscriber and route them to your local network, which may be something like an on-premise network, rather than sending them to your centralized network. So you can think of it like this. You can have, say on this device, you can have multiple IP flows, right? So you can have IP flow 1 and IP flow 2, right? Now IP flow 2, as an example, say you want to send to the local network, whereas IP flow 1 you want to send to your central network, right? So in that case, you will have a uplink classifier for IP flow number 2, and when this IP flow traffic will hit the UPF will see, oh, I need to send this out locally, so it will route this traffic to this local network, which is the basis for your mobile edge compute. And then for IP flow 1, which may belong to a separate filter, right? It might be default behavior for it to send this traffic out using UPF2 to your central network. So this is how you can have selective treatment of IP flows originating from a given device, but each being worked on differently, right? Local versus central. So this is a very important use case for 5G, especially when it comes to things like private networks or enterprise 5G networks, where you would want all your enterprise traffic to be local to the premises, and you don't want it to go all the way to your center. So you can implement this by using the concept of uplink classifiers on the UPF. So this is the last use case. We will talk about the UPF and series use cases. That this will wrap up our discussion. The last use case, it will be pertaining to roaming. So roaming in 5G is kind of like 4G but with some differences. So let's look at those. So here you have, on one side you have the home network, and on the other side you have the visited network. Now your subscriber, which in this case is this device, belongs to this home network. However, it is roaming in your visited network. So you can think of it as your visited PLMN, and then this is your home PLMN, right? So now this device belongs to the home network, but it is roaming in the visited network. In this case, the traffic for this device will hit the NR, the new radio, will terminate the tunnel from the new radio will terminate on the UPF, which belongs to your visited network. However, in case of a home routing model, which is one of the flavors of roaming, as we had in 4G as well, this traffic will be sent over to your home UPF. And this is done by using the N9 interface. So again, you need to have the capability to connect UPF, the visited UPF and the home UPF in series for this communication to happen. And this is again a use case for connecting UPF in series. So this N9 is used to carry user plane traffic back to the home network, right, as we had seen. And then this is the architecture for the 5G roaming. Obviously, you have a different flavor of roaming, which is called the local breakout, LBO for short. And in this case, what will happen is your UPF from your visited will itself terminate the traffic for this given subscriber, and it will not traverse the N9 link. In this case, you do not need you don't need the N9 interface, and you don't need to connect the UPF in series. However, in case of the home routing, which is the most commonly used right now roaming architecture, you would need to do you would need to have the N9 interface. So this wraps up our discussion on the use cases for connecting UPF in series. Hopefully by now it's clear why we would want to do this. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next lecture.